Hey, Warrior Saints. Glad to have you beautiful people in with us today. Talked about it a little bit last week. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more today. Anger. Anger is the path to the dark side. Anger is something that we all deal with at some point, and I'm going to confess all of my sins. I deal with it. It's something that is a struggle, right? Like when things happen that are not happening the way that I want them to happen or that I think they should happen, my natural response is I'm going to get annoyed. I might even get a little angry. It's why I think Proverbs talks about it in chapter 20, verse 1, and it says, strong drink is a brawler. How many bar fights happen out there? I'll admit to you, I've been in basically one fight in my life, and it was alcohol induced, and it was in a bar that I was subsequently asked to leave. And the problem is, why I think that happens is when we drink too much, as Father Chris was talking about alcohol on Wednesday, when we drink too much, our inhibitions are gone. The things that tell us, no, you can't do that in polite society, leave, and we are left to our base kind of human instincts. And brawling, because of anger, becomes something that comes out. But we got to get over it. We got to figure out ways to get through it. Because those things that are happening that make us so angry, they're not happening to us. They're not happening because someone decided, well, I think Greg wants this to be done like this today, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do it like this today just to mess with him. It's not about you. And when we let go of this idea that it's not about me and that it's not about like how I think this perfect little world needs to exist, then we're able to get through it. Daniel Tiger has a beautiful phrase in one of his songs that we remind my daughter of all the time. When you feel so mad that you want to roar, take a deep breath and count to 4. And then they actually go through in the song the process of 1, 2, 3, 4. But the reason that is a tool that is being given to our children is so that they understand that when the world is not working exactly the way that they've decided it should, when the world is not doing exactly what fits into their game plan, their phronema, their worldview, then we're able to actually take a beat, calm ourselves down, and actually see it. We took my daughter to the park the other night. She had a complete meltdown, sat down in the sand, was angry and was upset because I told her it was time to go home. So what do you do with that? Well, you pick her up and you drag her out, and then you get her to calm down. You get her to focus on her breathing. You get her to recognize that this is not about you. The world is not all about you and what you want. And saying, but I want to, does not mean that that's what's going to happen. Anger comes when we only think that it's about us. But as we heard yesterday in Jeremiah chapter 29, God has plans for us. It's not about us, it's about Him. That's the entirety of the crucifixional life in a nutshell, right? It's not about my will. It's about sacrificing my will for the sake of someone else. And when I do that, it helps me get through that anger. It helps me replace the thoughts of grandeur that I am the center of everyone's universe, right? With this phenomenal cosmic power like the genie has in Aladdin. And I'm just a dude who's out there trying to do my best to live out God's will in everything. And when I do that, when I see that and I start to actually implement it, then some of that anger starts to go away. Anger management becomes managing the ideas of self, not just managing the emotions. We're here to help you through that process, which is why we've got our 2 pillars of the way of the warrior saint. You got to understand God's word so that you can know what God's word is, which is why we've got understanding the Bible. And then to put it into place, we've got you the battle plan. It's for you to implement in your life so that you can get through and put into action, get through the stuff that is holding you back and put into action today what it means to live God's Word. We'll be back on Sunday, as always, with Orthros and Divine Liturgy at 9 and 10 a.m. Pacific, and then we'll be back on Monday as we continue our Crucifixional live stream. Until we see you then, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.